That's what I spent my afternoon doing yesterday, was reading jail reports. I spent more time on jail reports than I did PSIs.
They're more voluminous.
Same names I keep saying. Let's see, so we are going on the MTRP in one new case. Let's go with this new case, 25. Good morning. Are you Jacqueline Young? And Mr. Lewis, will your client waive the formal reading of the indictment?
Welcome back to Judge Point. If you're new here, hit subscribe to never miss these real courtroom stories. Today, we enter a Texas courtroom where a young man faces multiple felony charges: possession of prohibited weapons, theft of a firearm, and indecency with a child by exposure. The judge has before her not just a presentence report, but also a massive packet of jail incident write-ups, 35 pages long. This case is more than about stolen weapons. It's about choices, consequences, and whether a teenager can change his future.
And the motion.
He does, Judge.
Give me a second. Mr. Young, in cause number 250309, you're charged with a third-degree felony offense of evading arrest or detention with the use of a vehicle from February 26th of 2025. And how do you plead to that charge? Are you pleading guilty freely and voluntarily? Speak up. And are you...
The defense attorney paints a picture of a young man who fell off the cliff too fast. He argues this wasn't just about crimes, it was about immaturity, peer influence, and reckless choices. Weapons stolen from law enforcement mysteriously ended up returned, hinting at some accountability. His request to the court: give probation on at least one charge, especially the indecency case, to allow treatment and rehabilitation. But the elephant in the room remains: dozens of jail infractions. If he can't follow the rules inside, how can he survive probation outside?
To those correctional officers out there, because I bet you're not whispering to them, are you? Are you? Okay. Because how you act at the jail, how you act right now, all determines whether I even go along with this plea agreement. I don't have to. You're on a probation. I don't have to take plea agreements on any probations. If I find that you violated your probation, I can give you anything I want to in that range of punishment. And I can say, you know what, I'm not going to let you guys negotiate.
When given the chance to speak, the defendant calls himself young and dumb. But the judge isn't buying it. Write-ups in jail aren't accidents, they're warnings. She reminds him, the whole point of growing up is learning from mistakes. The state, led by prosecutor Mr. Coleman, sharpens the focus on the real danger. This wasn't petty theft. It was breaking into patrol cars, stealing an arsenal of weapons, and even converting one into a fully automatic firearm. The audacity shocks the courtroom and sets the stage for a tough sentence.
That I don't have to do that legally. So you better be careful with your faces and your words and your attitude, because I've read all of these and I already don't have a good feeling. Do you understand? So you need to give me a better feeling if you want me to go along with this plea agreement. Does that make sense? Okay. So again, before you signed these, did you go over them with Mr. Lewis? Do you fully understand them? And do you understand, if I follow the agreement that you made with the district attorney, that you will be waiving or giving up any right to appeal?
The prosecutor presses harder, warning the judge about the gravity of the crimes. These weren't ordinary weapons. One was modified into a machine gun. A 16-year-old accomplice joined in, raising fears of what could have happened if the guns landed on the streets. Coleman argues this is beyond recklessness. It's a potential public safety disaster. He urges the court to make an example, asking for prison time followed by probation. The courtroom feels the tension. Is this about punishment or protection? One thing is clear: the stakes couldn't be higher.
Do you also understand, if you're not a U.S. citizen, that a plea of guilty or no contest may result in your deportation exclusion from admission to the country, or denial of naturalization under federal law. State tenders number 1 in that case.
No objection, Judge.
It's admitted. Is there any evidence that Mr. Young is not competent?
No, Judge.
All right, sir, I'm going to find that you entered your plea of guilty freely and voluntarily. Find that you're mentally competent and you understand the nature and the consequences of that plea. Find sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and at this time find you guilty of evading arrest or detention with the use of a vehicle. Sentence you in accordance with your agreement to a term of 5 years in the institutional division.
The judge listens intently, weighing law against logic. She questions the legal mechanics of probation after prison. Could consecutive sentencing even work? Coleman insists it can, citing case law. The judge pushes back, probing the start dates, the structure, the legal basis. It's a clash not just about one defendant, but about how justice itself should operate. Behind the legal jargon sits a simple truth. This young man is either about to get a chance at redemption or spend years locked away. The outcome remains uncertain, hanging on the judge's decision.
So I have a second amended motion to revoke your community supervision. So you're on probation. We've got a probation for an evading arrest or detention with the use of a vehicle. And we've got 2 more evading arrest or detention?
The second evading is a misdemeanor enhanced to a state jail. And
Oh, it was-
count 20
right.
reads motor vehicle, that's incorrect, Judge. It's evading on foot
Okay.
with priors.
Okay, gotcha. So this shows that you were placed on probation August 29th of 2022 for evading with a vehicle.
The judge turns directly to the defendant. Why these weapons? Why break into patrol cars? Why arm yourself with guns that serve no purpose but violence? She dismisses the excuses. These aren't hunting rifles. They aren't tools for sport. They are weapons for intimidation, for chaos, for destruction. She notes his arrogance. Few in her courtroom have dared such bold crimes against law enforcement. The message is clear. Youth may explain his behavior, but it does not excuse it. In this courtroom, nerve and recklessness come with a heavy price.
And that was a 10-year sentence in prison that was probated for 5 years. Is that correct? And the state's elected to proceed on counts 1, 2, and 13. Count 1 alleges that you failed to report as directed to the probation department on October 2nd of 2024. And is that true or not true? Count 2 alleges that you failed to work faithfully at suitable employment and provide verification of that. And is that true or not true? And then count 13 alleges that you were arrested for the offense of evading arrest or detention with the use of a vehicle February 26th of 2025. And is that true?
Then comes the turning point. The judge reveals her plan. She will split the sentence. Prison time for some charges, probation for others. She wants accountability, but also a sliver of rehabilitation. On weapons charges, she leans toward harsher punishment, 7 years instead of 5. For the indecency case, she considers probation, insisting treatment is critical. The balance she strikes reflects her doubt. Can this defendant ever change? The courtroom holds its breath as she begins reciting the verdicts one by one, shaping this young man's fate charge by charge.
Not true. What's the status of the possession and the failure to ID from that date?
I believe the failure is, I think, still pending. The
The
misdemeanor.
failure ID is still pending next door, Judge.
And examining the probable cause affidavit from that date, I don't see that there would be a possession charge, Your Honor.
Okay.
I will double check and see if I didn't see anything else that filed or pending. At this point, I'll check.
On the first prohibited weapon case, the gavel falls hard. Guilty. 7 years in prison. Not 5, as the prosecutor requested, but 7. The judge explains. The defendant's long pretrial custody time would render 5 meaningless. The added years are a statement. Time matters. Consequences matter. On the second prohibited weapon case, the outcome mirrors the first. Another 7 years stacked. For the theft of a firearm, the sentence is lighter, 2 years in state jail. Piece by piece, his future is being carved, and the weight of each word is crushing.
I'm trying to go back and find which administrative hearing. It talks about the allegation of his behavior to, it looks like there was something that happened with probation. One of the allegations, so I want to see a little more about that. That coupled with what's been going on in our jail may or may not affect my. Same thing. It's the same thing.
But then, a twist. On the indecency case, the judge changes course. She suspends the sentence, offering probation instead of prison, 10 years of supervision, treatment, and strict conditions. It's a narrow lifeline, accountability without immediate incarceration. But there's a catch. This probation won't even begin until after he serves prison time. Fail again, and the suspended 10 years could return as another hammer. For the first time, the defendant's eyes flicker with hope. Still, it's clear, the judge isn't granting freedom, only responsibility under watchful eyes for the next decade.
You did the same thing to your probation officer that you're doing in the jail. Do you really think that your probation officer is going to go on a date with you? Do you really think that a correctional officer is going to go, yeah, when you get out of jail, you're the guy I want to date? You got in trouble for saying and talking like that to your probation officer, and now you're doing it when you're in jail. Cursed loudly about the work you had to do for your community service, calling it slavery. You think community service is slavery?
The defense attorney steps in again, raising concerns about sex offender registration. Could probation and deferred status prevent a permanent conviction? The judge listens, weighing technicalities. She clarifies, yes, deferred probation will stand, but with 3 felony convictions already sealed, his record is far from clean. The lawyer's attempt to salvage a small piece of the defendant's future highlights the brutal reality. Even with probation, the shadow of these crimes will follow him. The judge nods firmly. Probation is no gift. It is punishment with paperwork, surveillance, and stigma.
Let's see. So I already did that one.
The judge continues, layering fines and restrictions into the probation terms. A $500 fine, mandatory sex offender treatment, classes, sobriety, compliance with all conditions. Any slip could mean the suspended decade turns real. She reminds him of the consequences. Parole may be out of reach if his behavior in prison mirrors the chaos of jail. For the first time, her tone sharpens into a warning. Grow up, change your ways, or spend your adulthood behind bars. It's not just sentencing, it's a final ultimatum delivered from the bench.
All right, so we are back on the record in cause number 21-37857. And again, you're Jacqueline Young, right? And in that case, which is the motion to revoke probation, Mr. Young had entered pleas of true to counts 1, 2, and 13. There was an agreement for 5 years in the institutional division, which I said I would not accept. Have you guys had an opportunity to visit?
We have, Judge.
And what is the,
The new agreement is 8 years TDC.
all right, I'll take that.
As the courtroom quiets, paperwork flows. Certifications are corrected. Plea agreements clarified. Every technicality must be accurate. The judge makes one fact clear. Possession of firearms or ammunition is permanently prohibited. She hands the defendant a written admonishment spelling it out. If he violates it, new charges await. No more second chances. For someone whose crimes began with weapons, this restriction cuts especially deep. The weight of the law has now shifted from theory to reality. From this moment forward, every step the defendant takes will be under scrutiny.
This agreement to a term of 8 years in the Institutional Division of the Texas Department of Corrections. You will receive credit on that sentence for any time that you've been in custody that the law gives you the right to receive. These two cases will run concurrently, which means together at the same time. As a part of this plea agreement, I'm going to sign a dismissal in cause number 25 DCCR 0385. I'm handing you in each of those cases the trial court certifications that shows that these were agreements that I followed, and so you waived your right to appeal. I have also handed you a written admonishment regarding your ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition. When you were here back in 2022, we went over.
In closing, the judge offers one final perspective. His future is his choice. Behave, comply, and he may someday rebuild his life, fail, and the system will consume him fully. The mix of prison, probation, and probation after prison is designed to test him at every stage. Few defendants leave court with both heavy punishment and a lifeline, but this young man now carries both. The outcome isn't simply decided today. It will be rewritten with every decision he makes moving forward. Redemption or ruin. Only time will tell.
The fact that you're not supposed to possess a firearm in Texas, correct? Okay. It can still go worse. I mean, I got 2 more years. It's not, I mean, it's not funny. It's not funny to you, but I know you're upset about all this, but the only person you should be upset with is yourself, you know? So anyway, because of the judgment entered against you, you're not allowed to possess a firearm in Texas. I've handed you that admonishment. Be sure and read it again. We already went over it before. All right, good luck to you. You can go back with the bailiff.
And with that, the case is closed. The defendant is led away, his fate sealed by years of incarceration and probation yet to come. The courtroom empties, but the echoes of the judge's words linger. Choices have consequences, and even youth cannot erase accountability. This case stands as a stark reminder of how quickly reckless decisions spiral into lifelong battles with the law. Thank you for watching Judge Point. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more real courtroom drama and powerful sentencing moments brought straight to your screen.